How to play using the Runecraft Showdown Deck from Shadowverse Evolve. Let's look at the contents first. So of course this is the box itself. It's rather small because again it is straight out of the box playable. You may need to tweak your deck a little bit, but hey, it's in card gamers language, out of the box it's meta. So you get yourself a leader card, the code card for you to unlock this deck in the mobile app Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. You can have it, I don't really use it. The cut out paper damage count, status counters for playing in game, and then your main deck itself. Hold on, let me just separate. Here's your main deck, 40 cards. Your Evolve deck for your main deck's Evolve versions, and your token deck, which are token cards you will be using for the deck, and last but not least the Evolve points and Super Evolve points. So that's that. This deck's main focuses are two keywords, one being Earthright and the other one being Stack. Stack is the ability of Earth Sigil Amulet cards act as resource to activate Earthright abilities. Each time an Earth Sigil Amulet card comes to play, it gets a stack counter. These are used to be paid for Earthright ability cost. This counter can be increased by engaging another Earth Sigil Amulet to transfer its counter to another one. Once the Earth Sigil Amulet has run out of counters, bury it, meaning sacrifice it to the cemetery. A card's Earthright ability can only be activated by removing a stack counter from any Earth Sigil Amulet on the field. Now you understood how does the deck mechanic works, let's look at how to win with this deck. If you notice, some cards in this deck utilizes the stack and Earthright capabilities to reduce your opponent's life points. So we're gonna use that information to our advantage. Before we go further, let's look at the detailed card list, so at least you get a deeper understanding what we're going to work with. So first of all, we are given 3 copies of Faust the Truth Seeker, and then 3 copies of Caridwen the Eternity Hunter, only a copy of Ancient Alchemist, 3 copies of Acid Golem, 3 copies of Witch's Cauldron, 3 copies of Teachings of Creation, 2 copies of Summoning Drills, 3 copies of Rabbit Mage, 2 copies of Mirror of Truth, 2 copies of Grand Spire, 3 copies of Riley Hydro Shaman, 3 copies of Sweet Tooth Medusa, 3 copies of Artistic Arcanist, a copy of Price of Magic, a copy of Red Hot Ritual, 3 copies of Beastface Mage, and a copy of Gingerbread House. Then we have the token cards as well as the evolution cards. So let's go through one at a time, shall we? So the most important piece we have is the Magic Sediment. This is a token amulet card. Eternal Poison, a token spell card. 2 copies of Guard Form Golem, 2 copies of Strike Form Golem, 1 copy of the spell token Instant Poison, 2 copies of the follow token Serpent. As for the Evolve deck, we have the following: 3 copies of the Evolve version of Caridwen Eternity Hunter, a copy of the Evolve version of Ancient Alchemist, 2 copies of the Evolve version of Acid Golem, a copy of Rabbit Mage, the Evolve form, a copy of Artistic Arcanist, the Evolved form as well, and last but not least, 2 copies of Sweet Tooth Medusa Evolved. And of course, the 3 Evolve points as Super Evolve point. For today's explanation, we'll be focusing on the following cards to assist you into your road to victory while playing, which are the Faust the Truth Seeker, and then Caridwen the Eternity Hunter, and then your Ancient Alchemist, Acid Golem, Witch's Cauldron, let me just put it here, and then Teachings of Creation, as well as your Summoning Drills, Rabbit Mage, well, not really, but it does help as I explained later on. And then Mirror of Truth. Theoretically, you should be able to deal over 21 life points damage against your opponent's leader if you can play all these cards and their abilities consistently. The keyword is consistency here, right? Beginning of the game, your starting hand should at least have these. Otherwise, you redraw it. Now, let's start playing. Turn 1. Summon the Earth Sigil Amulet, Witch's Cauldron or Teachings of Creation to draw out Acid Golem. Either one will come into play with 1 stack counter. Turn 2. Summon Acid Golem, Earth Ride it, and it deals 2 life points damage to your opponent's leader. So that brings the damage count to 2. Turn 3. By this time your opponent should have some followers. Summon another 1 play pawn amulet like either cards from turn 1 or a Grand Spire to snipe one of your enemy's followers for 2 points of damage on top of gaining 1 stack counter. And then summon another Acid Golem so it can deal 2 damage to your opponent's leader. And then the one you summon no longer has summoning sickness, so you should be able to perform a direct attack to the opponent's leader. Now you've dealt 6 damage. Now entering your 4th turn, if you have another copy of Acid Golem, repeat the same process. Summon an Earth Sigil Amulet, gain 1 stack counter, summon the Acid Golem, perform the Earth Rite, deal 2 points of damage to your opponent's leader, and then attack with your 2 other Acid Golem to your opponent's leader. By the end of the turn, you would have already dealt a total of 12 damage. Now if you don't have another copy of Acid Golem, you can draw it out by using Witch's Cauldron, Teachings of Creation, or the evolved form of Rabbit Mage to search the Acid Golem from your deck and add it into your hand. Finally, turn 5. If your opponent doesn't increase their life points or get rid of any of your followers, time to drop this deck's cover card, Caridwen Eternity Hunter, so that you can evolve her immediately so you can play her spell token Instant Poison, where for 0 cost, you get to deal 2 points of damage to your opponent's leader and snipe 4 points of damage to your opponent's follower, and then use the leftover Acid Golems from the previous turns to finish your opponents off, and that is game. Again, this works theoretically. In real life, the results may vary. Should the game extend longer, use False Truth Seeker's ability, where by performing its Earth Rite at the end of the phase, you get to deal 2 points of damage to your opponent's life points. Now if you have multiple copies of it, you'll deal even more damage than that. Extensively, play an evolved version of Ancient Alchemist, where you get to deal 3 points of damage to your opponent's leader every time you summon a Golem follower. Combo spam this with Summoning Drill and Acid Golem, and you'll get to see a waterfall of burn damage while you sit there with the meanest grin you can give to your opponent while your opponent suffers through it. You are welcome. I hope you like this deck's explanation, and hopefully I'll see you guys again in a proper playtest video. So until next time, if you want to get this deck, please scan this QR code or just click in the link in the description box below. And until we meet next time, let's showdown!